The Colorado State Archives collects, preserves, and provides access to the state's historic and legal records. State employees and citizens have access to these records by making requests online or at the Colorado State Archives Public Research Room. The purpose of this video is to explain the process of transferring records to the Colorado State Archives. Records will not be accepted without undergoing this process. Types of records we take: permanent state government records from all three branches, county, municipal, and special district records, documents, maps, drawings, photographs, etc. The types of records accepted at the Colorado State Archives include permanent records from state agencies, counties, municipalities, and special districts. These permanent records must no longer be in active use. If you think your office may need frequent access to the records you are transferring, it is best not to send them to the Colorado State Archives until they are considered not active. Types of records we don't take: personal or family records, private corporate records. There are some types of records not accepted by the State Archives. Personal or family records are not eligible for transfer to the State Archives. You can contact an archivist for suggestions on more appropriate institutions for such collections. Overview of whole transfer process: contact archivist, filling out form to describe contents, review process, prepping materials for transfer, transfer of materials. If your records meet the requirements of materials accepted by the State Archives, this is what you can expect the process of transferring records to the State Archives to look like. Contacting archivist. To initiate the transfer process, call the State Archives Research Desk between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. The State Archives can be reached at 303-866-2358. Let staff know that you are interested in transferring materials to the State Archives, and they will route you to one of our archivists or records managers. Filling out form to describe contents. Staff archivists will first have you fill out a deed of transfer form. Fill out all fields to the best of your ability, but leave the accession number and collection information fields blank that are in the upper right-hand corner of the form. This box is for archive staff use only, and your transfer will be given an accession number so the State Archives can keep track of it. For Section 1, simply fill in your name. Section 2 indicates that legal custody will be transferred to the State Archives upon receipt of the transferred materials. Section 3 outlines the transfer of custody per statute, which is Title 80 of the 24th chapter of the Colorado Revised Statutes. The remaining sections of this document further outline the authority and responsibility State Archives will assume to ensure permanent preservation and access of the materials. Transferring records is free. However, State Archives will now be the legal custodian of the records. This means that the State Archives will store materials at their facilities and provide access to all records in their possession. This also includes complete processing and cataloging in accordance with archival best practices. The State Archives ensures materials are available for decades to come. The materials will be available for research by anyone, including the depositing agency and the public. Moving on to the appendix, answer each question with as much detail as you can. This information will help archivists decide if the materials are eligible for transfer. Most of the questions are self-explanatory. Question 4 is about restrictions, and it's a good place to list if there are any privacy or legal concerns related to the records. In general, materials that are restricted indefinitely should not be submitted for transfer. Archives exist for records to be accessed, and storage space is prioritized for materials that meet this objective. Review process. Once this form has been completed by the inquiring office, the acquisition committee at the State Archives will review the form and make their decision on whether or not to accept the transfer. The committee is made up of archivists and records managers, and their decision will be made based on the collections policy, which is available for viewing on the website. Some factors taken into consideration will be whether or not the materials have historical, informational, or intrinsic value, and whether or not there is enough storage and resources available at that time to ensure long-term preservation and access. If the materials are accepted for transfer, a member of the committee will be assigned to you to facilitate the remainder of the process. Acceptance of the records by the acquisition committee may be contingent on a few factors which the committee will discuss. Prepping materials for transfer. Each collection is unique, and your contact person will work with you to ensure all requirements are met before transfer. Some common requirements may be new boxes, and listings of box contents. State Archives will also request that all boxes be labeled in accordance to their guidelines. These listings and labels will assist researchers and staff in locating the materials quickly. A bare minimum box list should include box numbers, a clear description of materials in the box, and approximate date range. Your contact person will work with you to make sure all important information relevant to specific records is included. Transfer of materials. Once the assigned staff has signed off on the requirements for transfer, the materials may be moved to the State Archives. Staff will work with you to determine the best mode of transfer, whether it's by mail, scheduled pickup, or drop-off. State Archives will not accept unsolicited drop-offs, even if the collection itself has been accepted. All transfers must be scheduled in advance. Transfer completed. Now that the records are in the custody of the State Archives, they are no longer your responsibility. This means that all requests for the materials will no longer need to be handled by your office's researchers and can instead be referred to the State Archives. Based on observed needs of researchers, State Archives may elect to digitize the materials. If the transferring agency has a more pressing need for digitization, contact State Archives to discuss your needs in further detail. Contact us with questions. We hope this video helps to explain the process of transferring records to the Colorado State Archives. If you should have any questions, you may reach us through our website at www.colorado.gov/archives.